Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're doing things a little bit differently. We're going to look at a universal human experience, but through a highly observant and, let's be honest, deeply sarcastic lens. Look, we all know going on vacation is a beautiful, restorative experience, right? But the people you're forced to travel with? Oh man, sometimes that's where the real entertainment begins. We're diving into the funniest travel truths out there. You know, the kinds of jokes that are only funny because they are just so painfully, undeniably true. Okay, let's dive into this because we're absolutely going to roast some terrible travel habits today. But hey, more importantly, we're going to extract some essential, practical travel lessons from all this foolishness. I mean, we've all seen this person, right? Actually, maybe you are this person. The one who treats a long weekend away like a permanent change of address. We're going to break down these chaotic personalities step by step. Phase 1, Nightmares of Trip Planning, where friendships go to die. To truly understand the psychology of the terrible traveler, we really need to look at what I call the chronological vacation arc. Planning a trip with other human beings is an absolute nightmare. It's where the foundation of your vacation is laid, and honestly, where it usually immediately begins to crumble. First up, we have the group trip ghost. Notice the stark drop-off in activity here? In the beginning, that group chat is incredibly loud. Within minutes, everyone is shouting, "I'm going, count me in, we outside." For hours, they're sending you Pinterest boards of swimsuit ideas, literally demanding you send the booking link. But look what happens days later when that payment link finally drops. Absolute silence. Suddenly, the most enthusiastic person in the chat is, praying on it, checking their work schedule, waiting on a tax refund, or just seeing how things look. They are completely missing in action. Which brings us to our first rescue lesson of this explainer. And I want you to burn this rule into your memory, okay? Talk is incredibly cheap when it comes to group travel. Excitement is cute, sure, but only money secures a spot on the itinerary. Please, stop counting people as going until that deposit actually clears. Moving along the planning phase, we inevitably run into the person who demands you find them the absolute cheapest resort. The travel agent will explicitly warn them, like, okay, but it's cheaper for a reason. And they will swear up and down that it's fine, they don't need anything fancy. But then they arrive, and suddenly the food is too basic, the drinks are weak, the towels are suspiciously thin, and they are furious, literally furious, that the beach has seaweed on it. Come on, you literally begged for the cheapest resort, and now you're mad that you got exactly what you paid for? And this brilliantly illustrates our next incredibly dangerous personality type, the "I'm not picky" traveler. Notice the stark contrast here between their pre-trip claims and their actual resort reality. During the planning phase, they claim they have absolutely zero standards. Oh, anything is fine, they say. But the moment their feet touch that resort lobby, boom, they suddenly develop the standards of British royalty. The room is too far of a walk, the beach is, somehow, too sandy, the music is too loud, yet the resort itself is too quiet. Their pillow is simultaneously too soft and too hard. It's exhausting. So here is the firm lesson you need to take away from this. Anything was clearly not fine. They just lacked the self-awareness, or maybe the communication skills, to tell the truth during the planning phase. If you require luxury, say so. If you need a quiet wing of the hotel, voice it. Just be honest about your expectations before that credit card is swiped. Phase 2, disasters at the airport. Chaos before departure. So, we've survived the planning and arrived at the airport, which is basically the ultimate gauntlet of human stress, where unpreparedness is put on full public display. Let's look at the anatomy of an ignored email. Travel agents send these for a very specific reason. They contain your flight time, your hotel name, transfer details, and crucial passport reminders. Yet there's always that one person who refuses to read a single word of it. The night before departure, they're calling you in a sheer panic. "What time is my flight? Wait, do I need a passport? Where are we staying?" My friend, at this point, you need to open your inbox and let the Lord use your eyes. You have got to read your documents before departure day. Then they finally get to the check-in counter. Enter the overpacker. We touched on this a bit earlier, but this is the person going to Jamaica for 4 days, who shows up with 3 suitcases, a tote bag, a neck pillow, a curling iron, backup shoes, backup shoes, and a full-blown pharmacy. And the audacity! They get to the counter and act genuinely shocked when the airline hits them with an overweight baggage fee. "Ma'am, your suitcase literally has furniture in it." Let's be very clear with this practical lesson right now. You are not starring in a survival show. Pack for the specific itinerary you actually booked, not the wildly improbable, completely imaginary emergencies your brain concocted at 2 in the morning the night before your flight. Okay, once past the counter, we hit security, which is the natural habitat of the airport line expert. This is a person who suddenly becomes a professional travel coordinator despite having zero airline credentials. They're pointing, directing, yelling, "Take your shoes off," and they're boarding group 3. But meanwhile, they're holding up the entire line because their own boarding pass and passport are buried at the absolute bottom of their bag, underneath like 3 old receipts and a pack of gum. They are actively supervising everyone while personally causing the bottleneck. It's wild. Now, what's truly mind-boggling here is the sheer absurdity of this number, $18.74. This is the exact moment our traveler transforms into the airport snack victim. You walk into the terminal shop thinking you just want a bottle of water and a standard bag of chips, right? And the cashier hits you with this number. For water and chips? I mean, at that price point, those chips need to come with a boarding pass of their own and some emotional support. Please learn this lesson. Bring snacks from home whenever legally possible. Do not fall victim to the $16 cold sandwich that's tightly wrapped in plastic and looks like it was manufactured during the last presidential administration. The airport treats basic carbohydrates like they're luxury designer goods. Just don't do it. Phase 3, surviving the resort experience. You're on vacation, not undercover boss. Well, we have officially survived the airport and arrived at the destination itself. This is where we examine how perfectly capable adults manage to completely ruin their own hard-earned vacation once they actually arrive. See, some people simply do not know how to relax. They go on vacation purely to inspect. Meet the resort reviewer. Look at their typical inspection list. The moment they arrive, they become this weird hybrid of a health inspector, a building code enforcer, and a food critic. They haven't even unpacked their luggage yet, and they're already checking the corners for dust, taking flash photography of the ceiling, and aggressively judging the lobby's aroma. You need to breathe. Yes, standards matter for sure, but you're on vacation. You are not filming an episode of Undercover Boss. Don't let microscopic details steal the joy of your whole trip. Let's move on and see how this builds when we hit the all-inclusive dining experience. Enter the buffet champion. I swear, all-inclusive resorts awaken a deeply chaotic spirit in people. Just look at the breakdown of the single massive plate. They walk in like they're training for the Olympics. They've got eggs, pancakes, rice, pasta, soup, and a salad entirely overlapping on one single piece of ceramic. It literally looks like a shopping mall food court had a violent argument. And God forbid it's seafood night, suddenly everybody is acting like they've never laid eyes on a shrimp before in their entire lives. Let me offer you a blunt, highly practical piece of advice here. Pace yourself. You have paid for the duration of the trip, right? The food will still be there tomorrow. All-inclusive is a financial model. It's not a legal mandate to eat like it's your literal last supper on Earth. Okay, phase 4, the price of unpreparedness. Because, well, life be lifing. We're now entering the final phase of our explainer. Because look, no matter how much you plan, things will inevitably go wrong, and how you prepared for that reality speaks volumes. Consider these typical vacation budget priorities. It perfectly captures the mindset of the person who refuses travel insurance. They will enthusiastically drop $3,000 on the trip itself, right? $400 on new outfits they're going to wear exactly once, $150 on fresh nails and lashes, $80 on those designer airport snacks we talked about, but the second you offer them a $50 travel insurance policy to protect the whole shebang, they say, "No, I'm good." Are you sure you're good? Because, as the saying goes, life be lifing. Flights get severely delayed, checked bags vanish into the void, weather gets profoundly disrespectful, and when that inevitable disaster strikes, this same person is immediately on the phone with the travel agent demanding, "Can I get my money back?" To which the only valid response is simply, "Baby, you declined the protection plan with total confidence. You explicitly opted out of the safety net." So the crucial point is this. We need to stop viewing travel insurance as assuming the worst or like manifesting bad luck. It is absolutely not negative thinking. It's simply wisdom accompanied by a little paperwork. Protect your financial investment so you aren't left stranded when the unpredictable happens. We have covered a lot of ground today, analyzing the very funny yet very real hazards of travel personalities. I want to leave you with a final, somewhat provocative question to think about. Are you the punchline of your own vacation? Look, travel is a beautiful privilege, but planning matters, your budget matters, reading your documents matters, and your attitude absolutely matters. I challenge you to reflect on your own habits. Be honest about what you want, what you can actually afford, and what you expect. Travel smarter, book better, and ensure that on your next trip, the only things you're leaving behind are your worries, not your common sense. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Catch you next time.